So let's get something straight. Writing is really hard. Like, really freaking hard. And no one is born with the talent to write. You have to earn that talent through a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. Lots of tears. But I don't think anyone should give up their dream of being a great writer. I think it is possible at any age, at any skill level, and even if English is not your first language. So, welcome to my first episode of How to Write a Sentence. In this series, I want to help beginning writers, new writers, young writers, ESL writers in their dreams of becoming a writer. So I will be teaching you the basics of creative writing in little bite-sized pieces, so you don't get overwhelmed and want to quit. I actually got the idea for this series when I was trying to learn music production. I've always been really into music and creative projects, so I thought maybe I can try to download some music software and create my own music. And then I couldn't. I really didn't understand the music software. I wasn't incredibly good with music theory. I didn't know how to fit lyrics into a melody. I didn't know how to make a melody, so basically I ended up getting overwhelmed really quickly and just quitting. And then I realized, oh, this is how people feel when they try to write a story. Because a story has a crazy amount of elements to it. You have to have a beginning, you have to have a middle, you have to have an end, you have to have plot, subplot, characters, setting. You need to consider your style of writing and how it emotionally impacts your readers. And then, when you're done with all of that, you have to think about editing and polishing and publishing. It's incredibly overwhelming, and I totally understand why so many people quit. It's not that you really want to quit, it's just that you're too overwhelmed and you don't know where to start. So I want to start at the very beginning. And then on each lesson, I'm going to build a little bit more and a little bit more so you don't feel overwhelmed, so you can continue to practice, so you don't quit. For the record, I am a certified ESL teacher. I have been teaching English as a second language here in Korea for about 4 years now. And I would like to add to just ignore the boxes and emptiness behind me because I am getting ready to move in a couple weeks. I am also the author of the Choose the Ending series, the book series where you get to choose the ending of the story or write your own. And if that's not enough for you, I also studied creative writing at the Institute of Children's Literature, which focuses on writing for children and teens. I would like to say that although I am an ESL teacher, I will not be focusing on ESL elements too much, since there are already so many good resources for that. I want to focus on creative writing for absolute beginners, whether you are ESL or not. Creative writing is incredibly hard for native speakers, and it's even more intimidating for ESL, but if you are on either side of the spectrum, you are welcome to this series. So, today's first lesson in how to write a sentence is the basic sentence. Today we will be looking at the basic structure of a sentence. Subjects, verbs, and objects. Common mistakes with subjects, verbs, and objects in creative writing, and how and when to break the rules of a basic sentence. Alright, so to build a basic sentence, you need 3 things. First, you need the subject. This will be the main character or focus of your sentence, and then you will need the verb. The verb is the action of your sentence. And after that, you will need the object. This is what your main character is interacting with. By the way, don't worry too much about Don't worry too much about the grammar lingo. Even if you don't understand the technical terms or they're too complicated, it's really not that important to know the technical terms. It's only important to know how to write the sentence. So first, let's start with your subject. Now, your subject is going to be the main character of your sentence. So she eats fruit is the first sentence. She is the main character. And then the second one is the child is playing with bubbles. The child is the main character. The second part of your sentence that's important is your verb. So the verb is the action. What is the character doing? So the first sentence, she eats fruit. Eats is the action. That's what she's doing. The child is playing with bubbles. Now, you can create sentences with only a subject and a verb. You can actually create sentences with just a verb. I will show you how to do that later. But for now, I want to focus on just the basic English grammar pattern. So usually in a basic English sentence, we will add in an object. So she eats fruit. The child is playing with bubbles. This gives us a picture of what the main character is doing and with what. So here's a nice little scene from a cafe. Let's go through some examples of some basic sentences. Let's choose this man right here. So, this gentleman likes iced tea. This gentleman is the subject, likes is the verb, iced tea is the object. And then he only drinks coffee on Sundays. And he wears a cap in the winter. So you can see how this basic pattern works. Now I have two people. The older woman is giving a proposal. The young woman is listening to the older woman, and they are discussing a new plan for the community center. So this brings me to the common mistakes that people make with the subject, object, and verb. First is mismatch actions. Take this example right here. We have two gentlemen. The sentence is they are drinking beer and smiling. Now, just from the picture alone, I can't tell if the guy on the left actually has a beer. Maybe he's drinking water. Maybe he's not drinking. Maybe he's drinking vodka. So I can't use this sentence because the action needs to match the subject. So they both need to be drinking beer and smiling for this sentence to work. So I can change it to the man on the left is smiling as the man on the right drinks his beer, or I can just change it to they are having a good time. That is true for both subjects, so these two are okay. Another problem with a basic sentence people have is an unclear subject. So he is smiling and he is drinking beer. You see the problem with this sentence? There's two he's, and I'm not sure if it's the same he or different he, and I don't know which he it is. So this sentence is not good. It's too confusing. I don't know who is who. How about this sentence? Tim ordered the pasta and Jack ordered the steak. This is his favorite restaurant. Okay, so the problem with this one is I don't know who his is. Is it Jack's favorite restaurant? Is it Tim's favorite restaurant? I don't know. The subject is not clear. And the last problem that we have with the basic sentence is incorrect word order. Now this might work for Yoda, but it doesn't work for the rest of us. The beer drank he. Drink they beer. They the beer drink together drink. I can't even say it. It's so unnatural. So you want to make sure that your order is correct. So in English, the basic pattern is going to be subject and verb and object. So that is the basic 101 piece. Now I want to show you something a little more advanced. So my basic motto with writing is to learn the rules first of writing and then break them properly. So you can break the rules with this sentence pattern, and there are some good reasons to do it. So I wanted to show you an example from my own book, The Five Princes. For the record, I am not a vocal actor, so this will not be entertaining, but this is a really good example, so let's look at this together. I took a few steps forward, then stopped. 2 footsteps crunched after mine. Who is it? I asked, trying to sound commanding. Still no answer. This isn't funny anymore, I said. A deep voice echoed behind me. I agree. It's not funny. Darkness. There was nothing but trees and darkness. Not funny that a nobody becomes princess in a day, the voice continued. Who are you? A messenger. A messenger? From whom? What message? There was a pause. The next word came out in just a whisper. Run. Like I said, I'm not a vocal actor, but this scene has a lot of broken rules. So if I was going to change the sentences, they would look like this. There was still no answer. There was darkness. It's not funny. I'm a messenger. You're a messenger. And then the last sentence is just a verb. But let me go over the reasons on why I didn't use full sentences in this scene. The first one, there was still no answer. I took out there was because it makes it a little punchier. It makes it a little more dramatic. Same with the next sentence, there was darkness. If I take out there was, I just say darkness. It has a punch. It's more dramatic. Now the third one, it's not funny. Now this one is actually a little different. I dropped the it's mainly to do with how the character speaks. So this is more of a character development thing. This has little to do with the grammar itself. Okay, and the next one, I took out I'm and I took out your for kind of the same reasons. In context, we all know who they're talking about. So I don't need to make it clear, and it's easier to take it out because also it adds more tension. This is a tense scene. I want to make the sentences as short and punchy and tense as possible. And then the last one is just a verb because it is the most dramatic. So as you can see, there are reasons to break the rules. So if you are going to break the rules, you need to have a good reason. So here are 4 reasons you can break the rules for a basic sentence. 1 is for drama. Take out words when it adds an extra punch to the line. Or for dialogue. Keep your dialogue short and to the point. You actually don't need a lot of filler words that we use in real life when you're writing dialogue, so take out whatever you don't need. 3 for action. If the scene is tense, say less. And the last one, when you know the context. If the reader can clearly understand the subject and the context, you can take words out. It is optional. So let's recap today's lesson. First, we talked about the structure of a sentence: subject, verb, and object. So remember, the subject is your main character, the verb is the action, the object is what the main character is interacting with. And then we talked about mistakes that people make. So make sure you write clearly, match the action to the subject, or actions to the subjects, right? And make sure your subject is clear, double check your word order to make sure it's correct. And creativity. Remember, you can break the rules. So breaking the rules for the basic structure of a sentence, do it for drama, do it in dialogue, do it for action, and do it when the context is clear. So that is the end of the first lesson on how to write a sentence. Like I said, we're just going to start at the beginning and slowly build. So if you're a beginner, you can take it slow. You don't have to stress too much. I've actually created a free mini workbook for the lesson, so you can practice these structures more if you would like to. Just click on the link in the description. That will take you to my website where you can download the workbook for free. The workbook will include notes from this lesson as well as some writing prompts and examples that you can work with. In my next lesson, I want to go over verbs and adverbs. So today we talked about verbs, that is the main action of your sentence. So in the next lesson, I want to talk better, apparently. So in my next lesson, I want to talk more about choosing the right verb tense. That will be, is your story in present tense or past tense? And then I want to talk about choosing the right verbs for your sentence. And then also I want to teach you how to use adverbs correctly in creative writing. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments and I will do my best to answer them. Also, if this video was helpful at all, give it a thumbs up. And the next video will be coming soon, so make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any videos in the series. Thanks for hanging out with me, and I hope to see you next time. Keep being beautiful beasts. I will see you later, tigers. Peace.